Don't you see now? It's really fucking big, big, big. Shout out to Colossus on the PS3. I bought the original PS2 game and I beat it in 2 days. It was awesome and it was great. How's the PS3 version? It has HD, 3D, and all kinds of crap that was shoved into it. But does it hold up? It's definitely a really good game, but it has a lot of textural popping issues that I don't remember in the PS2 version at all. And I noticed a little odd collisionness with the main character on the Colossi a little. It could just be the adjustments, because it's important to note that Ico and Shadow Colossus on the PS3 are based on the European version of the two games that had all the content that Japan and Americas did not. And they made the grip meter less health and stuff, and I believe in the American version I don't think you gained grip from killing Colossi, and in this one you do. I don't remember exactly about that one, but I know there was a big adjustment with the grip meter, and you have a lot less of it in the PS3 version versus the US PS2 version. A lot of people were like, is it just me, or does it seem like I'm having a lot more trouble holding on? So, that could be a little adjustment with that, because I don't remember having so much trouble hanging on to some of the Colossi either. Which, that doesn't necessarily bother me, but it is something I don't remember quite the same. And it could just be, you know, them being memories of that, you know. That was several years ago, you know. But, it does hold up pretty well. It's not a horrible version of the game. But I don't really see, like, a lot of these HD versions personally bother me sometimes, because a lot of times they have these textural pop-in issues, stuff like in the Silent Hill ones that took away the fog effects, and you could see all these flaws and half-finished things in the background that were literally hiding in the fog to make it really mysterious and stuff, and now you can see far away and stuff. And then I hold like the Zone of Enders HD, slow down the gameplay and everything. I just don't really get the big draw a lot of HD versions. But out of ones I played, I'd say definitely the Ico and Shadow Colossus are not as bad, that's for sure. But the textural pop-ins are basically the worst thing I have to say about the Shadow Colossus one. Aside from that, the balance adjustments they did in the European version seem to be pretty good. And, of course, it has trophies and all that. Both Ico and Shadow Colossus both have trophies added into it. Now, if you don't know anything about Shadow Colossus, you play as a guy who goes to a forbidden land with a forbidden sword that he stole from his tribe to try and revive someone. You don't know if it's his sister, a loved one, his girlfriend, a cousin. You don't know who she is. She's dead, you're alive, and you go to this temple and ask this disembodied voice who supposedly can control the souls of the dead. And you basically make a deal. He's very interested in the sword you have, so he asks you to go kill these colossi in the Forbidden Land to destroy these totems in this temple, and he will grant his wish. He will do as his request if you complete his request. So you scour the land for huge giants. Now the land does not have, it's not like Zelda, like, there's tons of little minions in a dungeon, then the big boss fight. No, it's like the very empty and quiet, beautiful landscape while searching for the Colossi's hiding spots. Once found, you start the fight. Many of the different Colossi usually just involve finding a way to get on them and climbing, but a lot of the later Colossi involve a lot more puzzle solving and trying to trick them into doing things to unveil their weak spots. While the last Colossus, like most final bosses should be, is an ultimate test of pretty much everything you've learned up to this point. Taking advantage of weak spots, how to climb, make use of your sword, your bow, finding weak spots to get to the very end of that obviously I won't really talk about a whole lot of story until the end, because for people who don't want to know spoils aside from the beginning, which, you know, I don't ever see the problem understanding the very beginning of the game. It's just everything else I could so spoil. But the game is not a long game unless you really suck. It has a hard mode plus game mode, has time attack mode where you can get a lot of ICO referenced items and some other items that offer a lot of fun additional gameplay. Now, I don't know if the hard mode, the new game hard mode was in the original PS2 version. I don't remember, to be honest. But I did, because my Twitch did not record the first and second Colossi, or it didn't archive it. So I had to refight them, and I did it in hard mode just for random interest. And I found it interesting that in hard mode, the symbols that you have to stab to kill the Colossi, they're a little different. There's new ones that appear in different locations on the Colossi, so it actually mixes up the strategy of where you need to go and locate those symbols. So that's actually interesting, and I actually took a little interest in maybe trying to do that, maybe. Overall, it's definitely not a bad version. I mean, texture pop-ins are the worst thing I really have to say. The rebalancements are, I think, really good, awful better challenge, in my opinion, and it's really a lot of the same. That if you liked the PS2 version, I'd say there's nothing wrong with the PS3 version, and you definitely get ICO, which is definitely a bigger upgrade over its original, because you got the additional ending, you got the co-op mode, because we didn't get that in the US version. For Europe, that could be argumentative, but I mean, you're not getting a whole lot of new stuff in Shadow Colossus, but you are in ICO if you're not European, so you know, you get both games in one and that, so you know, it's a win-win situation, in my opinion. And I already talked about ICO on the PS3 all the way in a really old video. So overall, I think Shadow Colossus is a PS3 good version, not bad. Is it superior to the PS2 version? I don't know. A lot of times I think it's really hard for a remake or port to beat the original. To be honest, I would say probably not, because the textual pop-ins just kind of bother me, to be honest. But it's not bad. It's not a unplayable broken version now. So it's a decent. If you got some spare money, because I think you can get this for about $20 now, so you can probably get cheaper if you buy it used. You know, that's subjective to which method you prefer. But if you never got either of the games, that's definitely not a bad way to get both of them too. So anyway, those are my thoughts. Got any questions or anything? Feel free to leave a comment down below and be a sun bro. Praise the sun!